if you like.
Yeah, go.
The weekend was an adventure in trust. One of the big things that happened on Saturday in particular was that sense of the need for play and the importance of play. Somehow Saturday became a connected path of playful ideas. We broke into rooms that the groups somehow sorted into the perfect combination. So four of us created an offering in the morning, starting with Chesalina doing the Welcome to Country cat process, me mandala connected process, and then Sam with the generosity circle. So it just flowed naturally. So that's my starting point. Shez, do you want to say, Chesalina, do you want to talk to that?
Just, yeah. One of the things that Irene asked for was a sense of the landscape of what we did. And so I wanted to just presence that we began on Friday night. And yeah, there was some grief there. And that was a gateway to this adventure. I'd done an exercise on Thursday night online with some certification candidates, NVC trainer candidates, and had a new name, which was Faith and Trust. And the quality that I'm working with this month is adventure. So I brought that, and it really seemed to resonate with people. Yeah, and so Saturday was this amazing adventure. And then, Sunday was a very different space. I think Karen's words were we turned up in a bit of a hot mess and then moved forward from there. But the thing that I really celebrate is how we collaborated in this open space. People shared and expressed their needs and made requests, and people brought their offerings, and it sort of wove together into this exquisite fabric of, loving alliteration as I do, a sort of like fun and family, like really, it was really quite an extraordinary journey from to and ending in a sort of a place of peace. And for myself, I was integrating it yesterday afternoon and evening. So mostly I'm full of celebration, actually, and happy to do that. Hi, Barbara. Jen's only here for 30 minutes, so I'm going to pass to her so that she can share. But I want to celebrate the piece that you brought, your kind of report that was so full of inspiration about the new local webinar that you attended. And so I think I'll just, handball that to you. That was in the afternoon, wasn't it, on Saturday?
Yeah. So I'm sharing what I thought of the week Saturday. Is that what is happening?
What's alive about you, about the weekend? We're kind of celebrating and doing a bit of gathering of insights, and Karen's got a document that she's typing into. So insights and anything we decided to action.
What words jump out at me from the weekend is, which we all resonated with, was that wonderland and discovery and exploration. And I felt like there was a lot of, and Kat mentioned synchronicities, but even actually outside of my session, I had connected with my friend who's really into dragons. And I didn't actually say it Saturday, but I had it in my mind, and I was like, that's so funny, because he loves dragons. And I felt like there was, we had mentioned improv, and I felt like that came out in our sessions. Like, Barbara, when you stood up and you were like, okay, let's bring in that dragon energy, there was like this, and Shez, Alina with the hat, the giraffe hat, there was that improv was alive, that permission to just see what comes out. So I thought that was amazing. And there was such, did I say that there was an interconnectedness already? But anyway, that's another thing that I felt, the connection to land, nature, connection to each other. And I guess for me, when I talked about the Royal Commission into the mental health system and the umbrella of the whole of self, whole of life, and whole of family, again, I felt like that was interconnected with the new local and being more holistic in our way of living. And that also, I feel like I'm going into lots of different tangents here, but yeah, I just felt like it was an amazing session the whole day, from the start, from the ground up, literally, into the heart space, and then there was some of the mind space with all the information, and it was just, it was like a dance. It was, and there was a dance as well. So yeah, it was brilliant. Such variety and aliveness. Yeah, that's how I felt about Saturday. Yeah, thanks.
I'm so glad that you remembered that piece that you brought about the Wise Women Wonderland. That was, yeah, and even the improv, like that was in my drawing, but I didn't share it. But then I think at some point I declared it, but I kind of became it, actually, with my giraffe on my head. It's still here. I had a giraffe on my head. Yes, so and I remember that bit where you came in a bit later, or you weren't there and you didn't see it, and Karen said, I can't wait to see what Jen's going to do when she sees it, and you just went
because I was sitting there waiting, not really taking notice, and then I was like, oh, hilarious. I love that. Yeah, I felt like there was such joy in Saturday and play.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm wondering if, Barbara, you'd like to just check in. Like, I'd love to hear your voice, and if you want to share anything about the weekend as well, if you get going, I'd love to hear that.
Oh, it's just so nice to be here. And I've just come from a process work training on facilitation, and I'm doing a 4-part series of that. So this was the first part, and it's just so, everything's just so synchronous, really, because we're talking about how we're going to look more deeply at how do you know in a group that you're at a learning edge? What are the signals? How can we identify the signals? And I immediately thought of our group and how important it is for us all, and it feels like it's important in this group to be on learning edges and help ourselves on that. And, you know, we kind of tip over, we jump back, and we're all there making the container. And Saturday felt a lot like that. Like it was this open space technology that I've never experienced before. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to work online and in this context at all. And I think one of the things I loved was Shez Cheryl saying, we put play central, and that everything else still came around, but with that as a central theme. And that just has really resonated for me about Saturday. And now hearing again, oh yeah, we did the dancing and the thing on the head, and it was I was so full of energy at the end of the day. It's like, wow, I can't believe it's over. Wow, that was, oh, look how many hours. It was really replenishing. So yeah, that's me checking in.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm bubbling over with the joy of the memories from Saturday too now. I'm just like really connected to more of the parts. Like I just want to say for Irene's sake, like we started in the morning, we had no idea where we were going. And we broke into 2 rooms and we just brainstormed together. And one group basically came back with like, had workshopped in their breakout, like how they might pass the baton from one to the other with some ideas that had come up in the breakout. And then we came back, we actually collaborated with the other half of the group that had been in the other breakout room and actually got to like a clarity about how we would spend our morning. And it was just so amazing and unfolding. And, you know, the fact that there was joy about how it was sunshine outside, we all wanted to be outside. So we all moved onto our phones and on the Zoom call and went outside with our handsets, and how, yeah, not only the adventure, but the courage of that, like people actually naming what they were wanting and what they were feeling. And like, I don't think I've heard Shez do the same Welcome to Country the way she had done it. Shez Elena had done Welcome to Country like that before. So I'm just like enjoying all the learning edges, Barbara, that you're naming, because I actually got that sense, like certainly for me, Friday night just felt like a big step over my learning edge, but I'm like learning how to be humble about the places when, if I haven't been doing my practices, and I hadn't for a couple of days, how quickly I nosedive, and my sense of my mental health well-being edge gets more apparent to me, and my ego starts popping up, and there's more like trouble in my mind that I have to navigate. And so I'm so grateful not only for the safety on Friday night to actually go, oh, I don't think I'm coping, like I'm all over the place, and I was in grief and I couldn't articulate properly and I just felt really lost. But to actually be able to show up on Saturday morning feeling like, you know, there was a little bit of shame and reservation about being able to show up, but I did, and how incredibly sort of whole I felt by the end of the day, like how nourished I felt by what we did, and how spacious. And like I danced in the dance section that Shez Elena ran. I danced like I haven't danced for ages. I actually got to really dance in my body, not just sort of, oh, dance for exercise, or, you know, dance to lift my mood, or like, but literally felt the joy and the dancing come together in such a beautiful way. Gosh. Yeah, and even the way the dancing happened and the yoga happened and the dragon drawing, that beautiful dragon drawing that we did, that came out of your aliveness around, I want to do some drawing, and that dragon dreaming theme that I'd offered prior to us getting together gave you that inspiration. You're like, let's do dragon drawing. That was wonderful. That was such a gorgeous way of capturing the energies and the essence in color and liveliness. And I'm remembering your request, Jeanette, right now to capture those words and send a list out. So I'll do that on the messenger thread today.
Because I'll just make a word cloud.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Because I'm meditating, but it's not every day. So I feel like if I had the words, I'd be like, oh, I want to go to that place. So then,
like a nice reminder to relink to all that experience. That's gorgeous. Yes.
And I just want to say, Karen, thanks for like even sharing that, what you went through Friday, because that's what sometimes I feel. So it's so refreshing for someone to express it and to be able to be like, me too. You know, so that's what I love about this group, the whole of self, you know, so thanks.
Oh, thank you. I've really enjoyed being acknowledged in this room for bringing my truth, and it nearly brings me to tears because my state of well-being doesn't do well when I'm hiding anymore. Like my state of well-being just can't navigate hiding too long. Like I used to live in a hidden place, and with trauma there's just a lot of hiding, especially where there's been drug abuse in the extended mental health situation that I was navigating as a family member. So there was lots of hiding and shaming, and to be able to have recovered from that experience, still in recovery from that experience, even as a lifelong path, but just that my well-being's so inherently connected to my showing up as my full self. And I so appreciate being heard and seen in this space, and to have colleagues in that, I really feel precious about it as something that holds the group in terms of well-being, like that I think I see everyone else doing it too, and I feel like we all contribute to the safe space then to explore our well-being and our learning edges. So thank you. Really precious. Irene, can I ask you, like, now that you've heard a bit more about the weekend, if there's anything curiosity-wise that's come up for you, or anything, celebrations you'd like to add?
Well, it sounds like it was almost like everything you could have wanted it to be, in playfulness and adventure, and using the open space and trusting that. And yeah, it sounds like it was rewarding, and yeah, I kind of, and I'm guessing it'll come later about how it will forward Wise Women Rising, but it sounded like it was a very connecting and a special experience.
Yes, thank you. I would agree. And I think there is also curiosity about how we take it forward too, because while I'm taking a harvesting document and remembering some of the agreements that we made, I thought maybe we could do a round about that now, in terms of what we remember that stood out for us about the sorts of things looking forward now, and yeah, just even questions about that, if there's any alive. And if we just did another round, Shazalena?
Could I just maybe even knowing what some of the challenges were might be interesting for me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I talk to that?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
There was a sense, and I'd love to hear from Barbara about this too, but there was a sense on Sunday for us of the immensity of the amount of joy on Saturday, that we didn't know how to hold what we'd experienced, and we were all in a hot mess. And I feel like it was because we were all so vulnerable, and each of us in our own ways admitted how unique and different and quirky and weird we were, and we loved that about each other, and that was okay. And that isn't something that we normally speak out, and I really feel that hit core elements for all of us. And Sunday became a holding space, a working through. And for me, it kind of feels like when we do big things like Sam's talking about, which we'll talk about, I'm sure we'll get into as our next thing, it would be good to do it on a Sunday where possible, so at least we can touch base on Monday if something's been triggered, and hold each other in that space and move forward. So yeah, that was my thoughts about that.
Can I just reflect it so I capture what I heard? Because I really appreciate what you're naming, is that if we're going to just do one day, which was actually what we learned together and what we named over the weekend, was that actually one day online together was enough, and on a weekend. And what I'm hearing, which is really insightful, I think, is to choose the Sunday as a preference, because we've got the Monday to then land into the debrief and be able to catch and sort of hold precious any transition stuff that needs to be held coming out of that day together. I'm not certain whether or not we'd be disadvantaged if we chose Saturday, because I know that's what Samantha's proposed.
Yeah.
You do the Saturday, but to have maybe the Sunday request that if you are having any upset from the Saturday or anything that you're wanting to clear or speak, that's how we use the trading exchange too, is that we reach out and just connect with someone in the group and say, you know, are you available for a debrief today? Or have that extra thinking space and personal reflection time to go, what was that I had happen? Even get the empathy partnership to talk it through, and then come to Monday and name it into the group, because I think it does something special to name and dissolve things that they may have felt personal, but I think they have an influence, and they add something, either color or an energy or something to the group. And I'm remembering Viola saying on Sunday morning, as part of our hot mess unpack of what had happened actually something that she named actually soothed something in me, because even though it had been her sort of private experience, when she named it, I went, oh yeah, I could feel that. I knew that there was something there that for her. And so just having her bring it back into the group and having it dissolve in the safe space, I think that is really precious. So that's a lot of words about that, but it just really hit something important to me. So feels precious that you've named it. Thank you.
What I'm hearing from both of you is, and whether it's at this meeting on a Monday or something that happens on the Sunday if we did Saturday, the need that I'm hearing is for some integration time and sharing or some sharing time and the presence of others to integrate the experience of the Saturday. In this case, that's what happened. It was such a big day that we were kind of all like, whoa, that was amazing. Now I need to make sense of that. I need to make sense of how I feel right now. And it's not something that I can do by myself. I'm glad you're here so that we can hold each other in that sense making of, because it was transformational. I really, like, we did big, deep work.
Collaborative, especially collaborative, especially on the collaborative level. Like, we did big work in being safe in community with each other. That actually was breakthrough, like, level of collaboration for me. The number of women in the group and how willing we were to be.
How many was that? Like, I don't know how many people were there.
8. I think we had 8. Yeah, 8 on Saturday. And no, we had 9 because we had Natalie in the afternoon as well. So we had 8 in the morning, and then we had Natalie join us in the afternoon. I'm just remembering what Cheryl said actually about how the group, that's why I was sort of interrupting, because to try and grab this piece and share it about being in the group, we actually touched the place of worthiness and trust in ourselves in such a deep way. And then we sort of recoiled a bit into like, oh, was that permission? Like, did we give ourselves permission to be that real, that brave, that full self? And that was the integration piece, was, oh yeah, we actually did. We did as a group, and it was safe, and we are okay. We're still here. Like, that was for me part of the integration, was wasn't the calling question something like, can someone remember the words of the calling question?
What do you mean? Do you mean the one that Viola came up with?
Yeah, that was incredible on Sunday. That really helped integrate for me. Do you remember what it was?
It was, if we fully accept. I've got it on my page.
Or how would we be if we fully accept all the power that is flowing through us? How would we be?
How would we be? So it was, if we accept all of the power that is flowing through, and then it got altered later to that is in us. I think Cheryl, you somehow it got changed. How would we be? And so it was about the being rather than the doing, that the doing would come from us being. And then and Cheryl got us to do a drawing writing process that was profound. You know, like everything we did was profound. I have to say that. Sorry. So it was just
there was a really important shift in the wording though, which was, how would I be if I flowed into my power?
Yeah.
And then how would we be? So it was going from the I to the greater we, and stepping into community, because in order for us to be fully who we are, we need to step into our own power so we can be that within the community. And how are we visioning that? And it became this huge opening question, which allowed us to step into the more of ourselves, to be more in the group. Does that make sense?
Jen, Barbara?
Yeah, wow. Personally, I feel like I knew I would need that Sunday, so I previously couldn't book it because Sunday is such a slow, alone day for me. But I do like the idea of coming back to integrate it and hold each other. Like for me, this right now is piecing certain things for me. But yeah, I really like that because it's something that I'm doing as part of my journey, is showing up more fully as me. And I felt like Saturday was that permission by a lot of us, really. So yeah, I'd love to watch the recording of Sunday if I could, to see what came up.
Sadly, there isn't one. We only recorded all of Saturday, and that's one of the joys I have coming out of it, is that we have a gift to offer, which is a recording as a community of that session where we each collaborate. There was some collaborations and the process. So there's actually a recording of all of that, which I'm super grateful, because that becomes a gift that we can share. And there's no recording of Sunday, so Sunday was definitely a very private, like integrative.
Yeah.
I just want to add that Samantha came after we had done the process of the accepting the power and the drawing piece that that Cheryl brought. And I asked her, would you like to know what that was so that you can do it? And she said, oh yes, please. So I believe, it's my sense that we could share that with you in such a way that you could actually do that piece.
Love it.
Since you weren't there, and you were there so fully on Saturday, and such, you know. Anyway, that's what's there for me, is to invite you to do that. I'm not quite sure how.
Yeah, I'd love it. Yeah, I like that. That question is huge, and it's, yeah, I want to ponder it a bit more.
Okay.
Can I just, because I was thinking of actually doing a video of the recording, and because you gave me the recording from the thing, the site's not allowing us to put anything on our members page at the moment, just so you know. The link's broken for some reason. Sorry.
That's okay. These are all the learnings that I wanted. I wanted to find out what would work, what doesn't work. Please keep telling me. That's great. Barbara, back to you.
Yeah, it's I have a sense of the truth of how fully we went in, and then I can just imagine that. What did we do? Were we really? That just feels so alive and real. And I think that if I had been there on the Sunday, I would have been right with you in that space. Yeah, so I would also like to do the piece that, you know, I think you're going to offer up, Cheryl, for us to be able to kind of complete that. And I quite liked that idea of ceremony, like, and it seems like such a strong skill set in this group to have and create a ceremony to finish these things. So it sounds like this is the start, if not the way forward, with that kind of tie together piece that's either on the Sunday or the Monday. And I was just so delighted to be reminded of weird as the word, how, yeah, and how deep that felt as a truth, that we could all really just go for it, and the things that we instinctually are hiding from other people and maybe a bit from ourselves, that we just, yeah, let's do it. And it was so light and easy to do. And yeah, that's just gorgeous.
Oh, yay, thank you. I'm noticing the time, so I'm hopeful to do a quick checkout round of like anything else that's still alive. Jeanette, I'm guessing you have to go shortly. Do you want to hop in first?
Yeah. I'm delighted with that ending now, where Barbara's just reminded me of the weirdness. Yeah, I'm so happy that it came out, and the quirkiness, and I felt like it did connect people. It kind of was like a rosebud or a flower opening up and dancing around weirdly. Yeah, I feel like I'm buzzing a bit from checking in and seeing all of you. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Right, I'll see you next Monday then.
Okay, see you there.
Have a lovely week. Bye. 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 Bye.
I was going to say before Jeanette left, but I'm really delighted to announce on the behalf of Samantha and the NVC Hub that there'll be a first pilot of our Generosity Circle, Wise Women Rising Generosity Circle, happening at the end of the month. So it's been proposed for Saturday the 31st of October, and with maybe some reflection, but so I would love to do a poll and just check with the whole group, like who can do Saturday, who can do Sunday. And the intention is to share needs and what's alive in terms of requests, what's alive in terms of offers, and there'll be process to help people to come into that process without anything and be able to workshop like, what do I want to offer in the group? Like what offers are alive for me, and like hearing what other people offer, and just letting the juice sort of stir up that aliveness around what might be offered and what might be received. And I'm truly trusting it's going to be like an abundance of gifts in the giving of receiving and receiving on the day. So I'm just really excited to invite everyone to come along and check that out. So if you're watching the recording, please do check out the poll and leave us an indication of what days will work for you as well. I think maybe I'll just put the talking stick back in the middle again, and whoever's next to check out, that'd be wonderful.
Well, I'll be next year. It was a little bit weird being the only one in who hasn't shared in it. I noticed there's a bit of I don't know quite what it is, but it's a little bit disconcerting. Hearing, everybody saying, "Oh, this is great! This is wonderful!" So that's
something about that you weren't part of it. Like they're all talking about something that I wasn't part of.
Yeah.
And like, can I be at the next one is my hope. That's what's alive in you.
Well, I'm looking at the 31st, and that won't work with me either because it's the AGM for our environment group, and I'm the treasurer, so I better show up. So yeah, so really that's that, and it sounds like it was really well, highly successful is what I can think. So good on you. Well done. And Shazalena.
Yeah, I unmuted. Gosh, I noticed I had a bit of a, oh no, my intention was to include you in the joy of it, not, anyway, that was, yeah, what's here for me? Actually, there's a part of me just wants to keep going with the celebration and what I called in the meeting last week, I think, the harvest, and in the Dragon Dreaming, it's called celebration. It's like you initiate something and you plan it and then you do it and then you celebrate it. And so we are doing that, and I don't think I'm done. However, we want to honour the time. What's here for me? Well, I suppose that's what's there. And I was sharing with a friend about that the action coming out of this, one of them anyway, is to really focus on and put into motion the trading, like to build the trading, and to have this event that Samantha will facilitate, and there'll be other people contributing to that facilitation, to have us explore what we'd like to offer. And I have a sense that it will be, as you said, Karen, that it will be an emergent process like we had on Saturday, that offerings and requests will come that we're not present to right now, that in the space of the group and of the intention to connect more deeply with ourselves, our uniqueness, our weirdness, and what we could offer, but maybe that we don't even know about right now, that it will be really wonderful. It'll be Wise Women Wonderland. So yeah, that's me. Thanks. I will pass to Barbara.
Yeah, you just reminded me of how good it was to make a request and just notice, oh, what do I want, and make that request. And I can imagine that will spark, if we use that in the trading, this will spark for me, oh, what can I give, if I start to hear all kinds of requests. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I think, like Irene, I might be not able to come on the 31st, but I will check and put it in the poll.
I trust that the poll will clarify the date that will work for the most people, and we'll find our way.
Passing on to Cheryl.
Well, it was lovely to connect again, and lovely to have Irene here to get a sense of what happened, and hopefully she'll get to do the question as well herself in her own space, because we'll share it with you. That's easy. And I just felt like, wouldn't it be nice to do that process with some what if questions in the Wonderland. So thank you, everyone. It's been lovely.
Yeah, I'm so delighted to, with this feeling in my body. It's this joy of connecting into the community energy or the community vibe. And I'm telling myself it's the people here, but it's the whole community. It's like that we're building an energy hub for the whole community. And like, as we tap back into it, I'm feeling like it's not just me that, or just us, that's being tapped back into that space, that we're building a field, growing a field. And when we were saying about growing a field of flowers, I can feel the growing the field of the energy and how it nurtures me, nourishes me, and inspires me when I connect in. So super inspired, and just noticing my need for gentleness still after a big weekend and some of the reflections I'm still doing. So I'm grateful for you naming that, Cheselena, about not quite finished yet, I don't think either. So if there's any aliveness for continued conversation, please reach out to others who are in the group and find amongst us conversation partner to continue to reflect if that's what's alive for you. So yeah, that feels complete. Was there anything more alive in the room before we say goodbye?
I wanted to presence Kat. Was there anybody else? Oh, I spoke about Viola, and the rest of us are here. But yeah, Kat's the vision dreaming process that we did before Cheryl bought the drawing was really, and she's actually posted on the messenger thing about offering that. So yeah, like offerings emerged in the process of doing it, which was pretty delish.
Yeah, and on that magical word of delish, let's wave goodbye just for today. If we unmute to say goodbye to each other, and then we'll catch up next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.